To make my Himalayan salt lights, I'm using some small plastic tubing that I take from my fish tanks, and I want to use Himalayan pink table salt because I want one to be a little bit smooth, and I've got some of the rock crystals of the Himalayan salt as well. So I'm just going to make 4 little lamps using these products. I'm trying them with 2 different glues. So I've got a PVA clear glue, and I'm going to be using T8000 as well. I'm not cutting the tubing off, so I've got something to hold on to. So all I'm going to do now is just paint this whole section with some glue, and then pour some salt down and roll my tube in the salt. So I've got my glue onto a little piece like this. I'm making 2 at a time, so that's why I'm just keeping my pipe long. And then we're just going to dip that into the salt. And then I put that aside to dry. The salt that you've dipped your glue into, don't use again to eat, just keep it for your craft. I've got a nice assortment of the colours, and now this one's going to take a little bit longer than the other one because we've got to glue each one of those on individually. So for this one I'm using the T8000 to do that. So using the T8000, the salt was not sticking to it, so I've resorted to using my glue gun, and as you can see they are forming really cute little lamps. And then just dipping it into the salt and picking up all the crystals. Nice and quick and easy. And then just wait for them to dry before you touch them because they're still very hot. Anywhere that you think you need more, just put some glue and add a little rock. I'm using these tiny little fairy lights to power up my little salt lamps. So I've cut one of them off. Obviously the hot glue dries very quickly. I'm still waiting on the other one, so we'll just have a look and see what this looks like when we put the light on. Pretty happy with the results of that. It looks absolutely beautiful. I don't know whether you can actually see all the different colours coming through. I made some of the fine table salt ones by using the hot glue as well. They've turned out really nice. The water-based glue doesn't work very well because, as you can see, the salt is all melting in there. So I'm only going to be using the ones that I've just made with the hot glue, and now we can make the bases for them. I've got a piece of cardboard which is 1/2 centimetre thick, and depending on the size of your little lamps, just work out what your radius and diameter is going to be, and then draw a circle onto the cardboard and then cut that out. I'm just using a small pair of nail scissors to cut them out. Where I've put my hole for drawing my circle, I'm just taking my soldering iron and I'm going to just make that hole bigger so that I can get the pipe through there for the lighting. I've cut all my little pieces. Some of them are octagons, some of them are circles. I've got some brown paper and I'm just cutting a strip of 1/2 centimetre so that I can put it around my little pieces. I've poked all the little holes through them all, so they're ready to be glued. I've got all the little pieces of cardboards covered. So now we can just take our little lamps and cut them down at 5mm. So they've got 5mm of piping sticking off the end. So we can thread that through the hole. And just do all of them the same. Because these are salt and will definitely start melting in the atmosphere, you need to seal them. I'm going to just be using a clear sealer. Advisable not to use a water-based one because it does dissolve the salt. I'm using this gloss clear to paint all my little Himalayan salt lamps. I just finished making my little Himalayan salt lamps. They all light up. Thank you so much for watching.